Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. This is video 2 in our instructional help letting Fat Guy teach you how to fly series. This is going to be on the FMS Ranger 1220. Now this is kind of funny. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be filming with my cell phone my stick movements, and I'll put that in the bottom of the screen. So when I tell you what I'm doing, like banking right and taking off and holding and different positions, well, I want you to pay attention to my fingers on the sticks, so that you can see what I'm doing and you'll be able to see it on screen what the plane is doing. Now the transmitter is already on for the plane, okay? So you're gonna go up to your plane, you're gonna plug your battery in. So I'm at a disadvantage, I got everything in the way here. Okay. Throttle cut is on. And get your battery secured in there. Okay. CG on the plane. I got it written on the bottom of the wing. Make sure your hatch is good. All right. CG on the plane is 50 to 60 millimeters back from the leading edge of the root, which is the leading edge of the front of the wing there. Got a 2200 all the way forward. And that puts it basically pretty well perfect right about there. All right, let's take it now. The other thing you're gonna want to do before you take off, before you hit that throttle cut and turn the prop on, and make sure you've got communication.
Motor prop is secured.
Okay. All right. Right. All right. Take a look at your plane. I suggest looking at it from behind. All right. And I want to make sure I've got correct orientation on the plane. Right aileron, left aileron, up elevator, down elevator, right rudder, left rudder. All right, that's all you really need to worry about right now. But this is going to be actually taking off and landing on the gear. Unlike before when we flew with the Bixler, we were taking off and landing on the belly. This time we're going to actually use the gear. I'm going to teach you how to fly and land with an airplane that has regular gear. First thing we're going to do is practice taxiing, getting used to how this thing reacts on the ground. And for added fun, we have a wonderful crosswind. All right, let me get my stick camera going. That way you can see. Hopefully this comes out. This is the first time I've ever done this, so I got to pay attention to two different things. All right, let me get back here by Gabriel, my wonderful son, who's filming. So I got to narrate, fly, and pay attention to my sticks all at the same time. All right.
Motor is on.
Motor is on, so we know the prop works. Right, left, up, down, right, left. Don't have a problem.
Stabilized mode.
All right.
Manual mode.
I want to be in
optimized mode.
This plane has the Reflex version 2 in it, not the Reflex version 3. It has 3 levels. It has optimized mode, which is like wind mitigation. It has manual mode or direct mode, which is no gyro at all. And then it's got stabilized mode, which is beginner mode or self-leveling. But we're going to go with optimized mode or wind mitigation for right now, and we're just going to taxi around a little bit. I want you to just kind of pay attention. You're looking at the screen, but you're also kind of looking at my fingers. What I'm doing at the bottom of the screen, just taxi around a little bit. This is weird having this contraption in front of me. All right, I'm going to turn against the wind. All right. Notice what I'm doing with my ailerons right now. All right. All right. Just taxi around a little bit. Get used to what this plane does. Don't get in a big hurry. Don't worry about taking off right now. You just want to get the feel for this thing on the wheels. She sits kind of high, has very robust gear. Just taxi around just a little bit. Get used to it. Okay. All right, kind of pick up your speed just a little bit. Get used to how she reacts. All right, now I'm going to show you what happens if you turn too quickly when you're going too fast. Watch it not do it. See? See what happens? You turn against that wind, but that's okay. All right, now we got it kind of used to how she feels. Now we're going to start doing an actual takeoff. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to try my best to keep her on that center line. Okay, I'm going to put her in stabilized mode, which is beginner mode, which is the way you would start. You want to try to keep her on that center line the best you can and take off. Well, really can't go into the wind as well, but we're going to do our best. We're going to turn that rudder just a little bit towards that wind because the wind is coming right out across that runway. We're going to start building up speed and then start applying a little bit of up elevator. Just like that. See how I'm turning that rudder into the wind? Okay. All right. Now, we're right back where we were with the Bixler. In this case, we actually have gyro help though. Okay. Same thing though.
Remaining 6 minutes.
You're going to turn a little bit of rudder, a little bit of aileron, and you're just going to fly your pattern. Just fly your pattern, just like you did with the Bixler, okay? Wind is not being my friend right now. Right now you're in stabilized mode, okay? Look at my hands. Look at the plane, and you see my fingers are off the sticks, but look at the plane. You can see on the screen, she stays level. This is the beauty of self-level or having a self-stabilized gyro like this has. Great for a beginner because you let go. Like say you get up here and you're like, what do I do? What do you let go of the sticks? And she self-levels, okay? All right, get back on my sticks. All right, paying attention to what I'm doing. A little bit of aileron, reducing my throttle a little bit. Self-leveling and the wind mitigation really making this nice and easy for me. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of left rudder, a little bit of aileron, paying attention to my elevator also. Try to keep my turn nice and tight, nice as two-dimensional as I possibly can get it. Okay. You will notice that I rarely will take my fingers and thumbs off that throttle stick because your throttle is actually your absolute #1 flying control. People think it's your aileron and your elevator and all that. No, it's your throttle. The throttle dictates what everything else is going to do. Okay. Now I'm going to get turned towards the runway. Okay. Start reducing my speed, paying attention to my altitude, keeping the nose up with my elevator, keeping my wings level with my ailerons, and my direction more with my rudder. And I'm going to bring her in, and then got a little bit of flare. All right. Now that was within self-leveling. Now let's put the plane in manual mode. No kind of gyro at all, but I'm going to try to emulate that. I have no gyro help at all. So if you just had no kind of gyro at all, nothing, just a 4-channel plane, 4-channel receiver, okay? Like say you put an AR-410 in it. Let's see if we can't do the same thing, but with no self-leveling, no help at all. And if you're wanting to do that, this is one of the perfect planes to try to learn how to fly on with a plane that's got gear. All right, same rules apply. We're going to try to keep her on the center line, okay? We're going to put the rudder into the wind a little bit because of the crosswind, keeping that on that elevator, start applying a little bit of throttle, keeping that tail to where the plane will stay straight without getting that crosswind. Start applying a little bit of throttle, building up some speed, and you can kind of tell. Start pulling back on the elevator, and there she goes.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
All right, now I've got no wind stabilization now, just me. All right. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pay attention to my elevator. You know, turning with my rudder and my aileron, trying to keep the wings as level as possible. Keeping my nose up with my elevator. Just look at my fingers when I'm flying and see the screen. See the plane going. I'm very small corrections. Okay, I'm going to pull right now. I'm going to pull hard up elevator and just see how much that reacts. See, small corrections. You don't need much, and if you really hit them sticks too hard, you're going to have a very distinct reaction from the plane. Let me get a little bit in front of you. All right, we're going to make one more pass, then we're going to come in for a landing.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Keeping on my elevator. Okay. All right. Keeping her level, bringing her in. A little bit of flare at the end. And there we go. Don't be in a hurry. Don't apply a bunch of speed when you're running down the runway. Okay, you got a plane that sits very high up on the wheels, so you're kind of top heavy, and a little bit of wind will blow it right on over. All right, let's practice this one more time. We're going to put it in optimize mode, which is just wind mitigation. It doesn't self-level, and I'm going to show you a few things that this plane can do. And we're going to do touch and goes, which is one of the best ways to learn how to approach and land your plane. All right, I'm going to put it in
Optimized mode.
Optimized mode, which in the Spectrum world is the same as AS3X. All right, same deal. I'm going to put the rudder into the wind, start applying a little bit of power. When I feel like she's ready to lift off, lift off. All right, I'm going to show you what the plane can do now. See? If I was in self-leveling, I couldn't do that, okay? As you can see, I'm using very distinct, but look at the reaction the plane's got, okay? All right, now you know that I don't have self-leveling on. You can watch my finger, you see I don't hit a switch. You gotta keep me honest. All right, now
remaining 2 minutes.
Now we're gonna start doing some touch and goes. This is why when you first made in a plane, you're landing a plane for the first time, touch and go is a great way to figure out how that plane's going to land. I already know how this plane's going to land. A little tap and go there. And folks, don't think you're going to be able to fly like this and do this right off the bat. Just don't be in a hurry. Get her up in the sky, have some fun, learn how she reacts. Okay. But if you notice, my thumb does not come off that throttle and that rudder. I try my best to keep that firmly planted because that throttle is your #1 control. Boy, I hope my transmitter's staying on screen. All right. Folks, if the transmitter doesn't say on screen, I won't have it in the video because it's not going to do you any good. But trying to fly and all right, just keeping her level, reduce some a little bit of flare there at the end. All right. Get her turned around here. Now folks, these videos are not to replace an actual instructor, but if this is all you can get, it's still better than just trying to watch someone fly, period. This will help. Make sure you turn your throttle off. Okay, and let's check the video. Now we'll get off the transmitter video. All right, now we had 53 seconds left on a 6.5 minute timer, so we flew for well over 5 minutes. Let me take this contraption off here. Oh, goodness. Throttle cut is on. This is weird. Well, yeah, this is strange. But what you do to help, teach this stuff, right? All right. Remember, I don't always do it, but try to stay behind the prop if you can. I don't always do that, but every time you're out in front of this prop and you accidentally hit throttle cut, 58% left. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do is I'm not going to worry about the transmitter stuff. I'm just now that I've done a little bit of an instructional, now we're just going to take the plane up, have a little bit of fun with it. That way you can kind of see what the plane can actually do once you get comfortable with it. You don't have to be a perfect, some big experienced, highfalutin pilot, okay? And I'm not saying I am, but I'm very comfortable with this plane. And if I'm going to, after the Bixler, the first plane I'm going to grab to try to teach someone to fly is this one right here. A lot of clubs use this plane as instructional to teach people how to fly. It's $189 through FMS. It comes with self-leveling and all that. Let's do this again.
Stabilize, manual, optimized mode. Stabilized mode.
We're going to do the same thing again. We're going to take off and land in beginner mode. Just to give you a safe demonstration or a self-leveling demonstration. Maybe. Get that rudder into the wind there. All right, see? If I had the transmitter on, you can see I can't move that. I cannot make that plane go upside down. No matter what I do, it won't let me go upside down with it. All right.
Time remaining 6 minutes.
You're turned around here. We'll land with their version of safe. Start working my way down, making a really short little coffee table here. All right. Now,
optimized mode.
Put in wind mitigation or their optimized mode, and we're going to take off. If I can get snap roll. All right.
Manual mode.
Manual mode. No wind mitigation, no help at all. Really, there's not that much difference.
Time remaining 5 minutes.
All right, but this is a perfect plane to learn how to runway land in a cross breeze. Great plane to learn that you can grow with too.
Prop is secured.
All right.
Motor is armed. Be careful. Prop is secured.
All right. flew for another minute or so. Let's see what kind of battery life, because I actually started the timer back over. This kind of juice is left in the battery. Trying to be behind that prop if I can. Prop throttle cuts on though. Okay. %left. Well, anyways, flew in my high rates, and the rates, as far as, I know you, as a beginner, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about, but when I say rates and expo, what I mean by rates is how far of deflection, the rate. When I say 100% rate, that means the aileron is going to go up 100% this way and 100% that way. Now, their expo refers to as how quickly it releases to allow that to happen. In other words, like say, you got a bag of sand here, and you put your hand down the sand, and you got the arc of your arm. Your arm moves this way, right? Okay. As your hand is in the sand, think of that as the expo, okay? And then when it releases from the sand, it goes quicker. So in other words, you've got a kind of a resistance in the first part of it, and then it releases. Well, that part that my hand is in the sand is my rate of expo. I've got 30%. So for 30% of that first part of movement, my hand is in the sand. Keeping a little bit harder on a stick, a little mushier, a little bit better for a beginner, okay? But then once I get past that point, past that 30%, I now have full quick movement of that control surface. So that's why with expo, for the beginner, 30 or 40% expo is great on a control surface because it keeps your movement a little softer and helps you control. You know, not quite so jerky. Because when a plane jerks suddenly, because a beginner will get panic and pull, that's when you panic and you start doing bad things. You make bad decisions, and next thing you know, you got a pile of foam on the ground. And you're like stupid hobby, and you don't want to fly. So that's one of the expo is good for a beginner to kind of give you a little bit of area to work with and not quite so quick and jerky, okay? Now the elevator, 100%, 30% expo, rudder, 30%, 100%, 30% expo, 100% on the rudder, 30% expo, same thing on aileron. That's just a good starting point for this kind of a plane. Tricycle gear, you're gonna land, let it touch on the mains, which these are the mains. This is always the mains. And then this is the front nose gear. This is why you're going to touch on your gear, then it'll settle in on the nose. Now they know that a beginner is always going to slam that nose down. Well, look what this plane has right front. It has a hard spring, sideways, forwards, and everything, because they know beginners are going to be hitting this thing and hitting that nose gear. Well, this is why that's perfect for a beginner. Okay, these are real strong, and that's got a lot of give to it. This is one of the reasons why I recommend. To me, it looks stupid, but it's very functional, great for a beginner. Anyways, that's the Ranger 1220. Great flying plane, great beginner plane. It comes with 3 colors now. I think red, green, and this one here. All high visibility. You got the checkers on the bottom of the wing, a different color on top, so that way it's good for orientation. Just an all-around good plane. I hope this does not replace you going out to an AMA field or a field where you can get instruction with an instructor. This does not replace that. This is just to give you an idea of what to expect. And if it's all you got, Fat Guy's here for you, okay? Thank you so much. That is the tractor, because the prop is in the front, tractor pulling the plane, edition of the series. The next plane in this series will be a bush style, which the mains will be up front, and you'll have a tail dragger. And we'll do some runway stuff, and we'll do some stuff out in the yard, and we'll show you how to do the same kind of plane with that kind of gear. It's a little bit different in landing. That's why I'm having that in the next step. After that, we're going to go to a low wing, your first low wing, like a E-Flight Cherokee, and then we'll go to Warbirds. And then after Warbirds, we'll start jets. All right, thank you so much for watching. Gabriel, thank you for filming. I hope this helps y'all out. Y'all have a good one. God bless y'all. And don't forget, faith, family, and friends, and then Rangers, and let's keep them in the air, folks. Keep them in the air.